Hello, hello. Welcome back to Life After Plus One. I'm Leanne, your podcast host and your single parent mentor and coach. And today's little fun piece of advice is all about the breakup and moving forward. And realistically, this is probably one of the most common questions asked when you first become a single parent. How long does it take to get over my ex? When will my life be normal again? I'm going to unpack that today. But first, for those of you who are new here, welcome, hello. Come follow me on Instagram and come over and say hi. There's so much content there. That's where you will always find me. But if you are wanting some support through this, what I do with my coaching here at Life After Plus One is I am here to help you. My goal as a single parent coach is to help you live your best single parent life. Mums, dads, anyone, all of you, come here. Let's make it work. Let's help you to live your best single parent life. Because one of the biggest misconceptions out there that I see time and time again is so many people, single parents especially, are convinced that their life is doomed. It's all gone to the shit because they have a shit co-parenting dynamic, because their ex is a pain in the ass. So they've now just got to suck it up and deal with it. No, that is not how it works. It is about you showing up differently. Now, I'm going to unpack that a bit more in today's episode, but I just want to really put it out there that anything you do moving forward after your breakup is not about your ex. It's about you. And if you're focusing on your ex in any way, shape, or form, then you're holding yourself back. Simple as that, in the kindest way possible. So if you do want help moving forward and getting out of any kind of toxic co-parenting dynamic, you're dealing with a narcissist, you're dealing with the constant stress, you're constantly butting heads, which is something I see very often when you're in your co-parenting dynamic and you think you're fine, but the next minute you see your ex and the next minute, boom, 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 World War III has broken out. Because you're still holding on to those emotions. And every time you interact, those emotions come back out. They come back to the surface and you can't understand why. You just can't get past this because you're still holding on to those emotions and they're coming out every time. They're triggering those emotions. That's what it's about. It's about working on you. It's about letting that all go and working through that. But I just wanted to give a little brief summary of what we do in coaching. So I'm going to unpack more of this topic in today's episode. So let's just jump on in and let's unpack it, shall we?
Welcome to the Life After Plus One podcast, where we turn life's lemons into delightful lemonade. Get ready for inspiring stories, uplifting conversations, and all the tips and tricks to rock your single parent journey with style. I'm your host, Leanne, and it's time to embrace the adventure of Life After Plus One. So let's dive in.
How long does it take to get over my ex? Very common question. Jump on social media, jump on any singles pages, jump on Reddit, jump wherever. You'll see how long does it take? When will I get over my ex? When will I feel better in myself? It's posted everywhere. You don't even need to search for it. It just comes up. Maybe it's my algorithm, but I don't know. But it's always coming up. I'm always seeing that question thrown out there. How long does it take? How long's a piece of string, folks? And the biggest thing to remember when getting over your breakup, and it's the part that so many people overlook, but this is what I'm here to educate you all on and why so many people get stuck in this cycle. Now, getting over your breakup can take as long as you need it to. There is no time frame. You have no guidebook that says, okay, Tom, I want you over your breakup by December 22nd. And Susan, you have to be over yours by, I'll give you till February the 1st. It doesn't work like that. You are not on a deadline. There is no time frame. You can take as long or as little as you need. But what does hold people back, what does make the process so much longer than it needs to be, is people don't realize the right way to actually get over it. They are convinced that the best way to get over your breakup is just to keep busy. This is another form of feedback and advice I see handed out way too freely, way too often on social media. Just distract yourself. Just keep busy. You'll be fine. Push it down, pretend it didn't happen. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. And then you go into the next relationship and you have all these same problems again. And then you're wondering why it's all happening on repeat because you're still hurt. You're still carrying on to everything. You're still pissed off at your ex. You still got all these emotions there. That's it. Pushing it down, pushing it down, pushing it down, keeping busy, distracting doesn't fix anything. It just pushes it down for later. So how do you get over your breakup? And this is what I want more people to understand and what I want more people to realize. So if you're listening to this and it really kind of goes, aha, for you, then please share it because more people need to know this. Get this out in more single parents' ears because I just want so many more people to realize this is how you get over your breakup. Now, firstly, your breakup has brought up a lot of emotions in you. It has brought up a lot. It's not just like you've gone to a breakup as a single parent. It's like, okay, see you later, bye, done. Clocked off. Done. Now, in saying that, there may be some people that are like that don't have much emotions, that aren't too interested. But let's be honest, they're probably not the people listening to this podcast because they're fine in their eyes. They don't need help. They don't need support. They don't need to get over it. So they wouldn't be here listening anyway. But the majority of the people who do have emotions and are wanting to know how to get over their ex, then this is for you. And when you've gone through your breakup, you're feeling a whole lot of emotions, feelings, everything about yourself, about the breakup, about how you are perceived as a parent, as a partner. All these feelings and emotions come up. And we all know, and it's something I speak of a lot here on the podcast, that when you go through your breakup, you will go through a roller coaster of emotions. And it's something I deal with a lot in my coaching. One day you'll wake up and you will feel on top of the world, ready just to kind of go out and live your best life. The next day you'll wake up like feeling like you've just had a brick thrown at your head and you're like, what the fuck just happened? Yesterday I was fine. Today I just feel shit and I don't want to leave the house. This is part of the emotions. It is a roller coaster. And at the start, the roller coaster is very fucking bumpy. Let me tell you that. And this is all part of those feelings and emotions and some of those things that people don't like to deal with that come up after your breakup. And this is why it's so easy. Distract. We all know anything in life, the easiest option is never the best option. And I can tell you now, as someone that has spent time distracting myself, it does not give you a positive outcome. For those of you who do subscribe to my e-newsletters, you will see that I have spoken about my journey and my journey of distracting myself in great detail there. And just for those of you who don't, just a little brief summary. So I have been through my journey of divorce. We were together for 12 years and then later met my daughter's father. We were in a de facto relationship. We never married, just had my daughter, the one child, and then that fell apart. I walked away from that. So I've been through divorce and I've been through a de facto relationship. And I know what it's like. And I can tell you right now, the relationship I was in with my daughter's father and the relationship I was in with my ex-husband, it was like a copy version. That's not the right word I'm looking for. It was just like a mirror image of each other. Mind you, they looked nothing alike. But personality-wise, the way they behaved, the way I was treated, it was the exact same thing on repeat. I was belittled. I was mocked. I was just anything and everything. It was just like, I was shamed for any decisions. I was constantly made to feel like I wasn't good enough. Now, I'm not here to tell you about poor me or anything like that, but I'm here to tell you that when you go to a breakup, when I went through that breakup, my divorce, we were together for 12 years. I met him fresh out of high school. I was 17. Thought it was the best thing ever. It was my first real relationship. And did I go and heal after that? Did I go and look inwards? Did I reflect? No, God, no, because I didn't know anything about that back then. I just jumped straight back into the dating world and thought this was the best thing ever. This is fun. But this is what happens when you don't self-reflect. You lose your confidence. And that relationship there in my marriage, my confidence went to the shit. I was told I will be nothing without him. And when you go to a relationship like that, you start to believe it. All these negative things that they drum into your head, you start to convince yourself that it must be true. They must be right. They're saying this. It must be true. And then so slowly your confidence goes down and down and down and down and down. And then you meet someone else and then you repeat the same cycle. You go through the same thing. And then eventually you'll get to a point where you just like crash and burn with relationships. You're just like, I'm done. I'm out. I can't handle this. And then slowly you look back and go, fuck, The same thing has happened over and over and over again. I'm repeating the same relationship pattern. Do you know why? Because you're not actually taking the time to self-reflect. You're not actually taking the time to look at yourself. You're not actually taking the time to look at all the hurt that caused or came up in you from each breakup. Now, there's a lot more distracting that I did in my journey. I can tell you that. And I've been very clear in that e-newsletter that I sent out last week on how much distracting I did, thinking it was the best thing ever. Shopping, spending all my money, spending all my savings, doing anything and everything, going on holidays, meeting new people, going out in the dating world. I did anything and everything I could to distract myself because I thought that was the best way to get over a breakup. It is the worst way. Because eventually everything is going to come out. And the more you push down, and the more relationships you go through, the more heartbreak you get, the more you're piling on top. And eventually, boom, you're like, what the fuck? I'm out. I can't do this. This is why it is so important to manage this in a healthy way. Because eventually, the more you distract, the more you push down, the more you pretend, you know that good old saying, I'm fine. The more you keep doing that, the more it is going to come out later. So how long does it take to get over your breakup? How do you do it? What do you do? So this is what I'm getting at here. This is what this show is about. Your breakup has brought up a lot of emotions in you. It has brought up all these things in you. And this is the idea of getting over your breakup. It is not about doing something to be a better person for yourself so you can co-parent better or healthier so you can make life easier for your ex. No, fuck no. It is about you. It is about making life easier for you. And one thing I always say over and over again, your life is about trying to live the best possible life you can. It's about rebuilding your life. Your breakup is a little fucking speed hump that's kind of pushed you off track where you're like, shit, I didn't expect this. I did not plan for this, but here's a newsflash. Nobody plans for single parent life. Nobody puts that on their bucket list. But when you get there, you can't just stay down and go, well, fuck it, I'm done, I'm out. You've got to pick yourself up. You've got to dust yourself off again and you've got to keep going. But before you keep going, this is the part that people forget. Before you do that process, you need to actually stop. That's the part that people forget. To stop and look after you. And this is where all the distractions come in. Okay, I'm going to keep busy. I might just go to the gym. I might just go out drinking with my mates later. I might just go shopping. It's just constant keeping busy to avoid actually thinking about what comes up. And this is why so many people struggle with loneliness. It's not the fact that they're on their own. Being on your own is a fucking beautiful thing. It's what comes up in that time when you are on your own. And that's what a lot of people don't like. So the process of getting over your breakup really comes down to you. And how long does it take to get over your breakup? Again, that comes down to you. The longer you avoid dealing with what has come up for you, the longer it is going to take. Now, as I said, it's a process so many people avoid, but the longer you avoid it, the more you avoid it, the more you push it away, the more you're holding yourself back, the longer it is going to take for you to get over your breakup. And this is the thing that so many single parents think. They've accepted the breakup. It's fine. I know we're not getting back together. It's done. I've accepted it. That's different to getting over it. That's different to moving on. That's different to letting go. You've accepted it. That's fine. We're not getting back together. Okay, done. Tick. But if you're still getting angry at your ex, if you're still getting angry at all women, or you're still getting angry at all men, you're still getting angry at people that talk about relationships or breakups, you're still carrying hurt. You're still holding on to emotions there from your breakup. Now, getting over your breakup isn't about being a perfect version of yourself where you're never going to get angry or upset again, because that's not possible. It's about working through those triggers. It's about working through what's come up for you. Because as I said earlier, there are so many people in their co-parenting dynamic that as soon as they speak to their ex, boom, they've erupted. They're just constantly butting heads. And that is your sign. If this is you, you have not moved on. You have not let go. You've accepted the breakup. But if you're having these emotions that come up every time you interact, it's because they're pissing you off. Why are they pissing you off? Because you're still holding on to hurt. Maybe you're feeling resentment towards them because they're the fun parent. Maybe you're feeling resentment towards them because in your eyes, maybe they got off easy. They're not taking accountability. Maybe there's still some hurt there because of what they've done to you in the breakup. So every time you interact with them, these emotions come back out again. That is your sign that you haven't let go. And when you work through that, that's when you get over your breakup. Now, as I said, it's not about showing up as a perfect version of yourself where you're never going to get upset again, but it's about understanding yourself and these emotions that come up. And these emotions that come up that people don't like to deal with are always linked to some underlying issue. And what you went through in your breakup has made that come to the surface. And it's always those wounds like, I'm not good enough. I'm a failure. No one's going to want me. All these kinds of wounds and these negative self-beliefs will come to the surface again. And anytime you interact with your ex, they're going to come back up again because they've triggered that wound. It's still there. You haven't healed it. So anytime you speak to them, anytime you might just see a message with their name come up and boom, you're triggered because that wound is still there. You've still got those feelings there. They've reminded you, okay, I'm not good enough. They've reminded you, I'm a failure. They've reminded you, no one's going to want me. There's all these feelings and there's a lot more to it. But the idea is getting over your breakup is about understanding that. It's about working through that. You can push it down as much as you want. You can pretend you're fine as much as you want. But eventually it's going to come back out again. And that's why you see people that have been in these marriages and they go over and over and over again. They've been in so many marriages. And it's just sometimes I just think to myself, have you ever stopped just to look and understand what's happening here? Because these are the people that think a new partner is going to fix everything. A new partner will make it better, right? I mean, I know what that's like because I did that myself. A new partner will fix it. A new partner will make me feel better. No. I mean, you'll have fun with them. It might be nice. You might have a good time. But internally, on the inside, I bet you're still broken. You're still hurt. You're still wounded. You're still carrying on to everything. And this new partner, as soon as something happens and they might say something and it brings up some emotions from the past and boom, you're triggered again. And they're like, what the fuck just happened? I only just said this and you're reacting. And that's when the smallest little thing can cause you to overreact because you're still holding on to these emotions. That's when you see so many people on social media get so angry when people talk about breakups and relationships and whatever else. Boom, they're triggered. And those are the people, you can spot them straight away. Okay, you're still holding on to your hurt. That's fine, but don't take it out on everyone else. That's your issue. So getting over your breakup, and how long does it take? It takes as long as you choose to take the time to want to actually sit down and self-reflect. It takes as long as you choose to take the time to actually want to work through everything. So if you genuinely want to get over your breakup, then that is the process. If you're fine with just accepting your breakup, then that's fine. You don't need time to get over it. Just accept it. Okay, it's done. It's over. And then off you go. But don't be surprised if you do that and then you repeat the same cycle over and over again. Because as I said, that is something I've done and it's something I have first-hand experience in, and I know what that is like. It is not a fun experience. And I guarantee if you do this, you will get to a point where you crash and burn. It's like, fuck, something's got to change here. And sadly, more often than not, it takes you to a rock bottom point where you've reached a point where you realize, shit, this is not healthy. Something's got to give. Because quite often, when it's just a standard breakup or something where it's not too bad, it's not enough for you to make you want to step back and go, oh, I need to change something here. It's just a breakup. It's like, oh, well, whatever. Next. And that's what you see a lot. Okay, next. Not a big deal. Back onto the apps that same night, maybe straight away, back on the apps. And that's not fixing anything. That's not changing anything. You know, it's always what I say. If you want to get a different outcome, you need to start doing something differently. And doing different doesn't mean just getting a different partner. It's something different on your end. So really, when you're wanting to get over your breakup and you really want to let it go and move on, and you don't want it to bother you, you don't want to get angry, you don't want to get worked up, you don't want to get triggered, you don't want to get emotional, you don't want to feel anxious at handovers or when you see their messages, then doing that is actually the process of working through why you're feeling this way. That's how you get over your breakup. And there's no time limit for that. It takes as long as you need. I have people that I work with in my coaching that get through it pretty quickly. They're like, boom, I understand. I have people that take notes. They go through everything thoroughly. I send emails after each session, and so many people really immerse themselves into it. And there's some people that just like to take the time with it, and that's okay too. There's no judgment. It takes as long as or as little as you need. But the idea is to actually do something to work through that. Otherwise, you are not going to get over your breakup. You might, as I said, accepted it, but if you've still got those emotions there, you're still getting triggered, you're still pissed off at them, then you haven't gotten over it. And you don't have to be your ex's best friend. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, hey, if you can, if you're at that point, it's like, whatever, we weren't a match. Okay, I accept it. That's fine. And you can still be friends. Great, go for it. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's a great idea for your kids. Your kids would probably love that. But you don't have to do that. But the idea is to at least be amicable. Get to a place where you can at least treat it like a business partner or a business colleague, where you can have those conversations with them without any emotion involved. Because that is just it. You're talking to them with all that emotion from your breakup. You're talking to them with maybe a bit of sarcasm, with a bit of tone, with a bit of attitude, with all these emotions from your breakup, because you want them to know you're still pissed off. You want them to know you're still hurt. You want them to know that you're not going to be nice to them, because otherwise that shows them that you're giving in to them. But that's showing that you haven't gotten over it. You're still holding on to all these emotions. So that, my friends, is a process of getting over a breakup. There is no time limit. There is no time frame. You take as long as you need. But the reason why so many people do rush this process is because they're convinced they've got to get through it quickly so they can get back into the dating world. Or they don't even think about that. They don't even think about getting over the breakup. They just think getting back into the dating world is how they get over their breakup. I can tell you now, it's not. You can do it. I'm not telling you not to do it. You're all adults here. You are all able to make your own choices. But I can tell you now, it's highly likely not going to end up in a healthy outcome if you just use a new partner as a way to get over your ex. Especially if that breakup was a very toxic one. Especially. Because you are still holding on to everything. And what a lot of people don't realize when you've gone through a breakup is how much it affects your confidence, how much it affects that belief you have in yourself. And especially, as I just said, when you go through a toxic, high conflict breakup, you're at that point where you are very insecure. Your self-worth, your confidence, that belief in yourself is low. So this is when you end up doubting yourself. This is when you end up sabotaging good things because you think, I don't deserve that. I'm not worthy of something better. That's not for me. Or they're just going to leave me anyway. They're just going to hurt me. What's the point? So when you're still carrying all these wounds, these are the thoughts that come through your head. You go in guarded because you think, I can't trust them. You go in guarded because you just think, well, how am I going to trust them? I've just been hurt in the past. How do I know I'm not going to get hurt again? But if you go into relationship after relationship like this, you're not showing up as your true self. Now, the idea is it's not about going into a relationship just being so open and freely and giving them all your information and telling them everything about your life in one go. But it's about being able to be confident in yourself enough to be vulnerable, to put yourself out there, to say how you feel. And if someone's not able to meet you at that same place, instead of saying, see, I'm not good enough, see, there's something wrong with me, you're able to say, okay, that wasn't my person. That's the difference when you have actually taken the time to work through things and when you haven't. When you haven't worked through a breakup and you've just gone into another one and you've been heartbroken, it shakes your whole world. You're just like 20 steps backwards again, back at square one. See, I'm not good enough. See, I failed. See, no one wants me. Must be something wrong with me. But when you've actually taken the time to work through everything and you're understanding yourself and you actually know what you want in a partner, you don't take it so personally. You're able just to take it on the chin and go, okay, that's fine. I respect your decision. Good luck moving forward. And that's okay. Because as I always say, you're not meant to be everybody's perfect match. But when you are still carrying all that hurt and all those insecurities from your past relationship, that's when you do settle. That's when you do want everyone to be your perfect match, because soon as someone isn't, and soon as someone does break up with you or ghost you or not want to see you anymore, that's when it's like, oh, no, what's wrong with me? That's when that self-doubt comes back in again. You start spiraling all over again. You start thinking all these negative thoughts about yourself again because you haven't worked through anything. You've just pushed it down, pretended you're fine, and then all of a sudden you're in a situation where you get triggered again and it's all come back out. Because these emotions are not going to come out when you're just sitting at home watching Netflix on a Friday or Saturday night. They're not going to come out when you're just doing your school routines or everyday work life. They come out when you're put in situations where you're out of your comfort zone, when you're put in situations where you might be dealing with things that you don't normally deal with. And you're like, whoa, this is uncomfortable. Whoa, I don't like this. That's when you know you've really worked through these emotions. And it's all about knowing how to handle it when you are put in these uncomfortable situations. It's not about being Mother Teresa or whatever else and handling everything perfect, but it's about understanding yourself. It's like, whoa, hold on, I don't like this. And then maybe taking the time to step back. Just say, hey, I just need 10 minutes to myself. Just give me some time to process this. Just give me a minute. And that's one thing I do now. When I'm in a situation, just give me a minute, let me process. Because the worst thing you can do is just react in the moment and then say something that you may later regret. And that's when it ends up snowballing into this endless tit for tat battle. When you've actually at a place where you can respond instead of react, because you've actually worked through those emotions. When you are still hurt, when you are still wounded, that's when you get in that place where you want to keep having to prove your point. You're wanting to defend yourself because you know why? You're wanting someone to see the good in you. You're wanting them to see you as a good person. You're wanting to prove you're a good person. So you keep fighting, you keep showing that, you keep proving that. That's your wounds talking there. You don't need to prove yourself to people when it's the right person. That right person will see you for who you are. You don't need to keep proving that. But when you are wounded, you want to keep showing everyone that. You want to keep proving that to people. I used to be that person. You know, when something happened with a friend or something, you'd message them straight away. Oh, what did I do? Did I upset you? But now it's like you realize you don't have to be everyone's friend. You don't have to be everyone's best friend. You don't have to be the fixer for everyone. Sometimes it's okay to step back and just focus on fixing things for you. Focus on you. Focus on what makes you happy. It's okay to accept that not everyone is going to be your best friend or a perfect match or an ideal partner for you. That's okay. But when you're constantly forcing that, when you're constantly clinging to people, that's your sign that there's usually some sort of wound there that you're wanting to protect. You're wanting to cover up. You're wanting to heal. And it's all snowballs, really. The idea of understanding this and understanding yourself, it makes such a huge impact in all areas of your life. And when you're in a situation where you are uncomfortable, when you are getting triggered, it is such a beautiful thing to be able to get to a place where you can actually notice you're getting triggered and go, whoa, hold on, okay. I need to kind of step back here for a moment, or I need to understand why this is bothering me so much. And that's the difference when you have worked through your emotions and when you haven't. Because when you haven't, you do want to fight back. You do want to react. You do want to prove your point. You do want to get snappy. But when you have actually taken the time to let things go and work through everything, it doesn't snowball into each new relationship or every single interaction you have. So that's how you get over your breakup. You don't take it into the future with you. You don't take it into every other relationship that you have, whether it's a friendship, family, romantic relationship. You leave it in the past and you understand it, you work through it, leave it there, then move on. And that's that whole process. You get knocked down, you dust yourself off, you work through everything, you leave it there, then you move on. So don't forget that working through everything process before moving on, after you dust yourself off. That's the process of getting over your breakup. And as I said, there is no time frame. Take as long as you need. But the idea is also to have that right support, which is someone like myself, because it's easy to start it. And then all of a sudden something happens and you see your ex and all of a sudden, boom, you're triggered and it's all over again. You're going back in this cycle. You get sucked in, you start setting boundaries and then they try to manipulate you. They try to guilt trip you into doing things and you feel like, oh, okay, maybe I should. And then all of a sudden this cycle goes back on repeat again. And that's the thing with having the right support there with you to help you through this. so you stay on track. So when you're having a moment when co-parenting and you're not sure what to do, I can help you through that. When you're having a moment when you're stepping back into the dating world and you're not sure why you're constantly repeating these same patterns, I can help you with that. When you're feeling so insecure in yourself and you don't feel like you're able to speak up, or in any situation, and you feel like you've lost your value, I can help you with that. You've lost your direction in life. You've lost who you are. I can help you with that. And that's what coaching is for. It's to help you live your best life. So if you want help to actually get over your breakup, not just accept it, to actually get over it, work through it, understand what is coming up for you, work through this, process this, and then move forward. And as I said, it doesn't have to be a lengthy process. There's people that come in and do casual sessions here and there. There's people that do months and months and months of it. It's up to you what you want to take out of it. But the idea is not just to keep going through life pretending you're fine or pretending that I've accepted the breakup, so it's all good. It's about actually working through that, understanding what it brought up for you. Like I always say, everything in life is a lesson. It's just like when you go to school, when you sit there and you go to school and you learn, you're in a lesson, you're in a class. If you're not listening to anything, if you're not processing anything, if you're not learning anything, then what's the point in even going to class? Same as relationships. If you're not learning anything, if you're not processing from that, if you're not taking anything away from that, then what's the point? Everything in life is teaching us a lesson about ourselves. Everything in life is something that we can use to make us a better version of ourselves. And if you're not doing that, then what's the point? You're just showing up as doing the same things over and over and over again, wondering why things aren't working out. You got to learn something from the process. So as I said, if you're at that place where you are now finally ready to start learning something from your process to actually get over your breakup in a healthy way, then let's make it happen. Let's do this. Let's work together. Let me help you get through your breakup so you are not carrying it into each new relationship. You are not feeling anxious at handovers or when you get messages or when you get calls from your ex. You are not feeling stressed about the dating world. You are not feeling so insecure and you've just lost all your confidence in yourself because of your breakup. If this is you, then let's get you back on track. Let's rebuild your life again. Let's make it happen because it is possible. Your breakup is not the end. It is one part of your life that did end, but your life is still going. Your life is still happening. So let's get it back on track again. So let's have a chat. Grab a free 30-minute chat in the show notes. Let's make it happen. Let's get out of this drama with your ex. Let's get out of this drama with dating. Let's get out of all this drama and know how to handle it in a healthy way and let the past go. Let's make it happen. Let's do it for you. You deserve it, for you and for your kids. Make it happen. So reach out. Those details are in my show notes. So the free chat is there in the show notes. You can also jump over to Instagram. I can send you the link there if you want. And that's about it. If you have any questions, if you're wanting to know anything, if you're unsure about anything, please know I do answer all messages. So please reach out if you want any feedback, any advice or anything like that you're not sure about, you want to ask me something, please come over, reach out, say hi on Instagram or wherever you want to message me. I will promise you, I will answer you. And that's about it from me. So I hope you got something valuable from this episode. And as I said, this is a topic I want more single parents to know. It's not just about distracting and pretending you're fine. It's not just about jumping into a new relationship and that'll make you feel better. It's about actually understanding what's come up in you from that breakup and how that breakup has made you feel. That's what you need to focus on. So if that's you, let's make it happen and let's get you out of this cycle. Let's get you getting over this breakup for good. All right. Thank you all. I hope you got something valuable from this episode. And until next week, I'll be in your ears then.
Thank you for joining us on the Life After Plus One podcast. If you loved what you heard today and looking for some further support, then jump onto our website, lifeafterplusone.com. Plus, don't forget to check out our Instagram page for further resources and inspo. You can find all the links in the show notes. And remember, you're not alone on this path. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. And in the meantime, keep thriving, keep growing, and keep exploring your amazing life after plus one.